Let's start working on question 3 now. So we have a factory that is located close to a river and produces paint. Now the owner of the factory sells it for 20 euros per unit. The production cost is given by this function. Okay, the factory uses water from the river. The amount of water used in the factory is given by W equals to 2 times Q. Now next to the factory there is a farm, and the farm is affected by the water used by the factory. So the cost of irrigation for the farmer depends on the amount of water used by that factory and is given by this function. Now in part A we want to calculate the socially efficient level of paint. Okay, what does that mean? Well, because we're thinking about the entire society, we have to think about all the costs. And in this case, we have cost of production of the paint, but we also have external cost because it's polluting the water that the farmer is using. Meaning that as a first step, we must define what is the marginal benefit here, the marginal cost, and the marginal external cost. Well, the marginal benefit is the money that the factory gains. That's the price of 20 euros per unit. That is the marginal benefit that we're looking at. Besides that, what do we need? We need also the marginal cost, and the marginal cost of production is the derivative of the total cost function, meaning that we're going to differentiate 5q plus 1 over 4q squared. So if we differentiate that, let's actually write it over here below. The marginal cost is the derivative of the cost function with respect to quantity. What's that going to be? Well, 5 times q derivative with respect to quantity is equal to 5 plus 1 over 4 q squared derivative with respect to quantity. That's 1 over 4 times q squared derivative is just 2q. Now some things cancel out here and we are left with 5 plus 1 over 2 times the quantity. 5 plus 1 over 2 times the quantity. What we're interested in now is also to find out the marginal external cost. And to know the marginal external cost, we must have the external cost as a function of the quantity. What's that going to be? Well, the external cost is the cost of irrigation of the water. That is the additional burden, so to speak, that we place on the farmer. So the irrigation function, we have it over here, but we must make it as a function of quantity. So we'll substitute W equals to 2Q into this function. What do we have as a result? We'll have the irrigation, the external cost, so to speak, equals to 1 over 32 times the water depending on the quantity, the level of water depending on the quantity of production, which is 2q to the power of 2. Now, how does the math work out over here? Let's see. The irrigation cost would be equal to 1 over 32 times 2 squared, that's 4, multiplied with q squared. 1 over 32 times 4, that's going to be equal to 1 over 8. So this one and this one cancels out. And that's equal to q squared divided by 8. Now, what's going to be the marginal external cost? What's going to be the marginal external cost over here? That's the derivative of the external cost. This is the external cost that we just found with respect to the quantity. So we're differentiating this function, q squared over 8. We keep the constant, 1 over 8, times the derivative of q squared with respect to quantity. That's just 2q. So if we solve this, that's equal to 1 over 4 times the quantity. 1 over 4 times the quantity. Now with this marginal external cost in mind, and with the marginal cost of production, and also the marginal benefit that we found over here, we can solve the question. The marginal benefit is going to be equal to the marginal cost of production plus the marginal external cost to the farmer. So the marginal benefit equal to 20. What is the marginal cost of production? That's 5 plus 1 over 2q. So 5 plus 1 over 2q. And what's the marginal external cost? That's 1 over 4 times the quantity. So plus 1 over 4 times the quantity. Now let's take the numbers on one side and the quantities on the other side. 5 goes over there. 20 minus 5 is equal to 15. And what are we left over here? Well, we have 1 over 2 times the quantity plus 1 over 4 times the quantity. We make this with the same denominator by multiplying with 2. So 2 plus 1, that's equal to 3 quantity divided by 4. Now we want to find out the quantity. So the quantity for the society, right, optimally, is equal to 15 divided by 3 over 4. So that's going to be 15 times 4 over 3. 15 times 4 over 3. Let's work out the math over here. 15 and 3 cancel out, so we have 5 times 4, and that's equal to 20 units of paint optimally. Hope this all makes sense. In the next video we go to part B.